Recently, I've been getting fixated on the idea of reputation research with the Google Search Quality Raters guidelines. I started on this a while ago when, with the rise of AI, my original link building agency mainly focused on link insertions, so reaching out to webmasters and negotiating placements within existing articles that already have some relevance and power with Google. But with the rise of AI making guest posting so easy, I thought that was a little too simple, and why don't we go further? Create content that's not only super optimized using correlational tools like Surfer, so that the guest posts actually rank and therefore pass more power back to the actual client site, but while we're at it, why not actually make that guest post look like a piece of genuine high-quality editorial content from the blog or news site that we've reached out to? Now, part of the benefit of this is we can actually shape the opinion of the author, make it look like an actual news editor or actual journalist with a bit of PR experience, and write what was generally known as an advertorial, where it's editorial content that's actually an ad that's been disguised as more sort of journalistic content. This has been the mainstay of PR for decades, because those people skip past the ads in the magazine or paper, just like we have today with banner blindness on a website. However, if an actual piece of content in the article aims to inform, but very subtly alludes to buying a product and the benefits of that product, then the conversion rate tends to be really high. So that's exactly what we now do within the agency. Amongst our usual bread and butter of link insertions, we also add in PR-style guest posts on the basis that we think there's a big benefit to not only ranking that page, but also actually making that page resemble a really big recommendation. Now, lately, the link building world and SEO in general has had quite a few glimpses into Google's algorithm through the ongoing Antitrust Trials, where we've actually seen really interesting documents released from Google that they just don't want to share, pretty much confirming a lot of stuff we already knew. But now that we've actually seen documents and slides from these interior documents, it goes much further in terms of confirming what we already knew and telling us more about what's going on. So one of them is this example, the 3 pillars of ranking: body, what the document says about itself; anchors, what the web says about the document; and user interactions, what users say about the document. So this is basically link building 101, indeed SEO 101. I'm always saying 90% of SEO is just content and links, and this pretty much confirms it, that Google struggles to understand what's on a page. That's exactly what these kinds of documents have confirmed. It's much more, these days we're talking a lot about knowledge graphs and entities, and how the on-page quality that in Google's eyes is more about understanding the relationships between things rather than actually reading the full paragraph. That's why there can be benefits to using an NLP-friendly format to actually present information in a way that search engines can understand better. So it's about stuff and the relationships between stuff in order to write great content. So we have the body, what the document says about itself, and then we have anchors. So when we're doing the link building, you want all your links around the internet pointing at your page, ideally to describe something about what's going on with the page. So that's why if you're trying to rank for best credit card, then you want some anchors to say credit cards, best credit cards, read this guide on best credit cards. So that's just giving Google much more information that not only can it see this page is talking about credit cards, but everything else linking to it is saying this is a page about credit cards. But this is only going so far. This is more the traditional link building model. And don't forget that with that anchor text selection, when you're doing link building, you do need to be careful. If you go all in on keyword-rich anchor text, then that can be very dangerous, because Google can flag that as a sign that you've been doing artificial link manipulation and penalize you. So that's why it's important to maintain a fair split between brand, keyword anchor text, and random anchor text. I always say, especially amongst the team, we want to aim for keep it natural and just imagine you are the blogger, because it's very unlikely that a blogger, journalist is actually going to refer to a website, a web page with the same anchor text every single time, apart from the brand name or the URL, which tends to be a bit more understandable. It's quite normal that the brand gets referenced a lot, so that's generally the safest anchor text to build. However, what I'm really getting into at the moment is this idea of reputation research. Now, we can see evidence of this in more recent updates to the Google Search Quality Rater guidelines. And these are basically workers around the world who have the job of basically evaluating search results and evaluating websites. So there's different kinds of penalties and effects in terms of your rankings when it comes to Google actions, Google penalties, and soft penalties. There's manual penalties, where you get a notification in the Search Console saying you've been condemned of this mistake. And then there's algorithmic penalties, where you might not even get a notification, you just might notice your rankings dropping. Now, part of that whole mix is actually the Google Search Quality Rater Guidelines Network, who basically have a browser, and it's called Rater Hub. There's a couple of others, I believe, and they basically get dispatched a website to go and check in on. And they're basically checking this website in line with all of these requirements. Now, this is very unlikely to happen to you if you've only just started or you've just done a load of content. That's why I can blast out the 500-page AI website using a tool like autoblogging.ai and get loads of traffic, and I don't need to worry about any sort of penalty. As long as the algorithm is happy, that's fine. But once you start getting to a significant degree of traffic, normally after about a year or so, then you're going to find Google starts checking in on you more regularly using these search quality rater guidelines, because now you're getting traffic, the algorithm isn't enough anymore. You actually need to prove that you're fulfilling all these criteria and you're not misleading anyone. And reputation is a big part of that. So we have it here on page 23. So this document was from December 15th, 2022, so not very old at all. So we have reputation of the website and its content creators. This is a really big section. Don't forget to subscribe. I will be doing a case study coming up on actually recovering a medical niche site that was growing beautifully and then had a massive penalty. And part of it is reputation, and part of it, I think, is to do with EEAT. So I'm going to be going through in detail, showing everything I'm going to do to try and recover that website. Now, don't forget to sign up to my Ranking Revelations newsletter, because some of my advanced tactics I can't reveal on YouTube. We don't want Google finding out about them and breaking them. And also, I just don't want all my competition learning about these, but I am quite happy to share them to those who are ready to implement. So simply sign up on my website here, and you'll get regular emails with my latest insights. Each time I drop a video, I do tend to include a little summary, a little section of the extra 10%. So the things I don't reveal in the video, the advanced steps, which actually make the difference between success and failure in a lot of instances. So I don't repeat these, so don't forget to sign up for that so you don't miss out again. But getting back to the idea of reputation, this is a huge section. So we've got reputation of the website, customer reviews as reputation information, how to search for reputation information about a website, reputation of the content creators, and what to do when you find no reputation information. So let's jump ahead to page 23, and we can see exactly what Google is looking for. So we have customer reviews can be helpful. Be skeptical of both positive and negative reviews that anyone can write. Try to find as many reviews as possible. This is all quite normal, so Google's got its own reviews, there's Trustpilot, FIFO, that sort of thing. But what I'm most intrigued about is this bit, how to search for reputation information about a website. So identify the homepage and have a look around. But then it says you want to do a Google search for the brand name, but minus the actual domain name from the Google search. So that will then give these quality rater guidelines the whole list of mentions around the internet of this brand. So they can then jump around, especially looking at review keywords as well. So they can see how other websites have actually talked about this brand. So this is what I'm saying where it comes to reputation as this new level of link building, because Google already algorithmically looks at links on other websites pointing at your site as votes of confidence in your website, but also tell Google what your page is about. But now we know it's going a step further in that for these Google search quality raters, they're going out there looking for any sort of PR about you out there and what it's saying about you. So this is where I'm talking about this method of advanced PR style guest posting, where we're basically not only getting the link for the link's sake, but we're actually trying to craft the PR and the public opinion about that article, about that client, at least in the eyes of Google and the search quality raters guidelines, so that when they make one of these searches, the search result is full of all these articles that we've actually placed for this client that link back to the client, but they're full of praise for that client, whilst also appearing trustworthy news sources. And we can see that here where it says, look for articles, references, recommendations by experts, and other credible information written by people about the website. High quality news articles and informational articles may be good sources of reputational information. So this is really important. News articles and informational articles can help you learn about a company and may include information specific to reputation, such as awards and other forms of recognition or also controversies and issues. Note that some information articles include a message warning users that there are disagreements on some of the content or that the content may be outdated. This may be an indication that additional research is necessary. So this is where I see the future of link building. As we know that Google's getting smarter and smarter and competition is getting tougher because we have the rise of AI content, links are becoming more and more important. But I think, and certainly within my team and my brands, we're actually really pushing forward to go above and beyond link building and look more towards this PR style angle, where we're not just getting the link for the link's sake, which of course is still very important, but we're looking for shaping the perception of the client based on how they're talked about around the internet. So if we can actually build that digital footprint so that all these authoritative sources, blogs, news articles, all talk about the client in a big positive way that still comes across as authentic and genuine within the brand voice of the linking site, then I think that's going to be hugely beneficial for this kind of reputation management, which therefore means you're going to be more favorably looked upon by the search quality rater guidelines. So at a basic level, just for free, you can do this yourself with sources like Crunchbase, LinkedIn, social media profiles. That's all really good. Even creating a Google business profile, things like that. If you've got a little bit of budget, you can look at things like press releases, that sort of thing. The only issue there is, of course, these are the easiest sources to get, and so probably have the least weight. So the real art now is actually pitching websites, negotiating with websites to get good quality editorial mentions about your brand that appear trustworthy and authoritative, link back to your site, but paint this really good picture for your reputation and your brand. So that's what we're introducing more and more into my link building service. So not only do you get the link, which has already proven to have great results in the past, but you're shaping that perception of your brand both to users and to Google and the search quality rater guidelines. So in a year's time, once your brand is really getting a significant traffic, when these quality raters start dropping in on your site and start researching about your brand and your reputation, they're going to be impressed. They get the impression that you're a great brand, great site, you deserve to go at the top of Google.